Um, Good afternoon once again. Good morning. Good morning. Um, okay. We are going to be looking at practical life. Practical life is one of the learning areas in Montessori, as I said earlier. So, practical life is one of the learning areas in Montessori, and as I said, as you all know, we have just 5 learning areas in Montessori. Though we have other sub learning areas under cultural arts, which are the music, arts, geography, and so on like that. So, but today we are going to be looking at practical life. From the word practical, let me just break it into two. From the word practical, what can we say a practical is? Like from the word practical, in a very simple term, for the word practical. Hands-on activities. Then when you now talk about life, live, way of living, abi. So when we now combine the two together, it now becomes what? Of life, the way we do things on daily basis. So in a very layman's term, that is what practical life is. You can, why, just by splitting the name itself, you can get the definition. So practical life activities are exercises that are referred to everyday task designed to help children develop independence, coordination, concentration, and a sense of responsibility. I said coordination, concentration, and a sense of responsibility. Yes. Now, one of the major purpose and aims of practical life is practical life is to help children gain control of their coordination of movements. Now, when we talk about coordination of movement, if you notice very well, when children are very young, most of them don't walk on a row, like they don't walk on a foul. When for example, you send the child something, instead of the child to walk straight like this, just the way another is going to be walking, the child is going to walk in a zigzag manner. Like he will go like this, then come like this, come like this. The child will see a very wild road, and the child will start to follow a very small pace behind the gutter. All this small thing, he will now start marching, stepping that's. But with the help of practical life, you can help them maintain that. And it helps them gain independence and adapt to their society. Now it preaches teaching, not correcting. No, it preaches teaching, not correcting. I don't know if you understand that word, teaching, not correcting. Okay, very good. Now, for example, now you gave me this clothes to food. Look at the amount of folding the clothes. Look at everybody. I folded the clothes, but a Nigerian parent gave me a clothes to food. While I'm folding it, so your brain cannot tell you that you're supposed to fold it like this first, Abi. I mean, you always close your eyes when I'm folding it like this. You do like this, you fold it like this. That means you are correcting, you are not teaching. Instead, you collect,
Fold it.
you fold in the right way, you fold again, and give to that individual to do it again. You can see now, you teaching instead of what? Correcting. So that's one of the things practical life does. So all of practical life materials teaching. It tells. I have it here. I have it. I think it's upstairs. So one of the things it does is that it does not encourage you to correct child. It doesn't encourage correction like you should not do it this way. You should every materials. In Montessori we don't even encourage that. We encourage we tell you to you do it the right way in the presence of the child again, so that the child can learn from what you have done. So that's what they mean by teaching. So in order to allow a child to functionally to fully functional member of society, practical life also aid growth and development of the child intellect and concentration, and will in turns also help. I'm just explaining. I'm not going to write it. I will still list the importance and everything. I will still list them. I'm just is this there was an explanation? It's an explanation for myself. So practical life exercise also aid growth and development of the child intellect. For the child's intellect, growth and development of the child intellect, and the concentration and will in turns also help the child to develop an other way of thinking. Now one thing about help the child other ways of thinking, orderly way, sorry, orderly, orderly way of thinking. Now one thing about practical life is that it's not practical life that will teach the child the main thing, but what practical life does is that it lets the child learn how to perfect doing it, because there are things that they are going to do day in, day out, every day. By the time I started mentioning the categories of practical life, we have just four categories, and I start mentioning those things, activities under it, you are going to know that it is things that they are going to do whether I like it or not in their day, in their life. But how they are going to do it perfectly, when they are going to be wearing one button up, the way they are going to be flying, when children wear their put on their button, one button will be up like this, and or they should omit.
You are not online.
No, I've sent the link on the group.
This person is asking where's the.
I've sent the link on the group. Before I started the live, I sent the link on the group.
Please, maybe you have to
open it.
Go online with your phone and give it to them there. I want to go to the pharmacy.
Okay.
Doctor just said I should go and get some drugs for myself. And I'm going with my phone.
No problem. Okay. Now, one of the things that practical life activities does, that it mimics real life task. It mimics real life task, as if it is real life, like you are doing it real life, just the way you are going to be doing it in real life. That's what you are going to be doing. That's the way you are supposed to be practicing practical life. So it mimics real life task, and it is divided into four categories. It mimics real life task, and it is categorized into 4 categories. Number 1. I said it mimics real life task.
It is divided into 4 categories.
Yes, the first category is care of self. Care of self. Now, care of self. Yes. Care of self. Care of self teaches children how to take care of themselves and their personal belongings. Care of self teaches children to on how to take care of themselves and their personal belongings, such as dressing, grooming, and hygiene. Such as dressing, grooming, and hygiene. Such as dressing, grooming, and hygiene. Number 2 is care of the environment. Care of the environment. Care of the environment. This deals with the task. This deals with the task involved in maintaining and caring for the classroom. This deals with the task involved in maintaining and care for the classroom and surrounding. For the classroom and the surrounding, including cleaning and gardening. Including cleaning and gardening.
Gardening.
Yeah. Yes.
Gardening.
Now that care of the first one, what do they call it again? That care of self can also be called the preliminary application. Preliminary application. While the other one, the care of the environment, can be called applied application. Preliminary. Preliminary. What's going on? So the first one is preliminary. The second one is applied. Then the third one is grace and courtesy. Grace, like grace of God. Grace and courtesy. 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 Grace. Please, give me a minute. It's when we finish this first period, I'm going to look at it. I think they put on something. So the thing is trying to drag the agenda. So, okay, have I mentioned grace and courtesy? Yes. Yeah, grace and courtesy. This exercise promotes social skills, manner, respect, interaction with others. It promotes social skills, manners, and respectful interaction with others. And respectful interaction with others. Then the fourth one is called the control of movement. Control of movement. This helps children to develop fine and gross motor skill. This helps children to develop fine and gross motor skills. This helps children to develop fine and gross motor skills, coordination and control. Now, what are the importance? Control, yes. What are the importance of independence? What are the importance of practical life? The importance of practical life. Number one is development of independence.
Development of
independence. So you can just highlight them. Don't worry. Let me just explain it quickly. Now, when we talk about development of independence, one of the things child learn being independent is self-sufficiency and confidence. That's that mentality of I can do it myself. You understand that kind of thing? That's what we mean by development of independence. When the child is 3 and the child can button his or her clothes by himself, he can zip, he can buckle his shoe by himself, he can tie his bed by himself, all of those things. He can dress himself. He can brush his teeth by himself. Care of self, don't forget. He can brush his teeth by himself. It is not you that makes the teeth white. I hope you know that one. It is not that address of that your neighbor will hear it. I know. That's not the. It is just knowing the techniques of where you should put the toothbrush in and out. You understand? So those are the things that make the teeth, clean. So that's what we mean by development of independence. So with the help of practical life, they are going to gain what we call independence. Number 2 is enhancement of motor skill. Enhancement of motor skills. One of the motor skills is fine motor, such as activities that help them with fine motor is pouring, cutting, chopping things, and so on like that. So this helps in refining their muscles while they are doing all of those things. We as an adult are always afraid of giving knives to children. Knife, scissors, and all of that. But under practical life, we are not always afraid of it because there is a particular knife we are going to give them. It will not be as sharp because they are children. It will not be as sharp as that knife in your kitchen, but it will be the knife that at least they can use to. Don't forget that I said from the beginning. I said it's to mimic real life activities. You understand what I'm saying? So we are not going to give them something that will be harmful to them, but we will give them something that is like looks so real, as if they are doing it, the activities for real. So we give them activities to pour and all of that. So the one for gross motor, we give them activities such as sweeping. Although from the beginning you won't expect perfection because somebody might be sweeping and the thing he's sweeping is going to the back. You have not experienced that before. Instead of the person to be sweeping to the front, the thing is going to the back. You just see that every space is living is getting more dirty. So, but until you tell these persons the techniques of sweeping, even some adults, let me say that, let me use the other word, but cannot sweep. It's not as if they cannot sweep, they will sweep, and by the time you get there, you're like, have anybody even swept this place in the last 1 week? So, so one of the things practical life does is that it enhances their motor skills. It helps them working on it. We have what we call working on the straight line. The other one, the other time I was mentioning when students used to work on the zigzag. So when they have done a lot of several activities of working on a straight line, they get used to it that when I'm going on a plate, when I'm going on this direction, I have to just follow this direction. I don't have to go like this. Sometimes some adults who are very confusing that when they are walking, they are coming, you end up bumping into each other because they want to go like this. You two want to go like this. They want to go like this. You two want to go like. You end up eating each other. You're like, or you just stand still like this. You just pass anywhere you want to pass. That's it. So it's from childhood. All of this is comes from childhood when they are confused. Because if you are going on a direction, I see that you are coming this direction. There's no way easy for you to come to this place here. Just keep maintaining that lane and let me move to this other side. So the third one is
Mr. Lighter, please. Can you just quickly throw more light on find interest rates and gross interest rates?
find this with hand, gross this with your legs.
Define his hand.
Fine. Yes, anything that you can do with your hand, anything that requires that you use their hand for. Why gross requires anything they use their legs to do, such as walking, as I said, walking on a straight line, and some other things, carrying objects. You know, when they are carrying objects, they will use their hand to carry, but they will support with their leg because their leg they are going to move to this thing. Carrying a pair of scissors, carrying of a table, activities such as carrying of a table, carrying of a chair. Some children don't know how to carry chair. When you ask them to move from one chair to the other, you hear, what are you doing? They are dragging the chairs. Even some adults used to do it. We used to do it in this place here. If I want to, let me just say, Mrs. I don't want to mention anybody's name. Please go and sit down there. You see?
Wow.
So that's the listen. So number 3, we have cultivation of concentration. Cultivation of concentration.
Please spell, sir.
CUL.
Is it cultivation?
Yes, that's why I fagun. Cultivation of concentration. CUL, cultivation. CULTIVATIL of concentration. To cultivate an habit of concentration. This talks about focus and patience. Because in practical life, most of those material are hands-eye coordination. They deals with hand-eye coordination. You know, so there's no way you want to use. Now you want to pour from one jug to the other, big to big. Because if you look elsewhere, you might end up pouring pouring it away. If you are scooping from bowl to bowl, if you are not careful, you might end up pouring to another place. So that's why it deals with focus and concentration, and you need to be very careful. It teaches you patience. Whether you like it or not, you need to be very patient. But most especially when I ask you to measure, if I give you a bowl and I ask you to fill the 2 jugs with the same quantity of water, now it requires some level of patience for you to be able to okay, you now pour it again. You now be no, you miss one. Because you can't just pour it like this and assume you pour it again like this and assume the thing no matter how perfect you are, something will still one. That's why they say all fingers are not equal. When it's time for sharing, there's always one way or other the thing won't be equal. So the fourth one is promotion of social skills. Promotion of social skills. Don't forget when I meant the fourth listing, I mentioned grace and courtesy, and I mentioned something under grace and courtesy. I mentioned respect for respectful interaction. So with others. So that means it promotes social skills. You need to learn boundaries. You need to be respectful. You need to know how to say please. You need to know how to say sorry. You need to know how to say thank you. You need to know how to say excuse me. You need to know when to even ask for excuse me and when to just raise your silent finger. That's when we get to that place. I will start mentioning to you. There's what we call how to break the silence. One of the ways to break the silence is just not talking. So once the person look at okay, let's have you understand? So you already break the silence. When you want to take an excuse from somebody to or you want to enter a class and you don't want to interrupt what they are doing in the class, you walk silently without getting anybody attention. Then go and sit down there. So all of those things we are still going to mention them. They are under one area, under practical. So we have respectful and cooperation. We have conflict resolution. That everything does not belong to you. Through practical life, children learn to resolve things by themselves. Okay, within themselves, okay, you know what? You hold on. Let's so person do his or her own activities first. Then you do your own. Okay, what's the causes of this conflict? Okay, and then Mr. Dr. Tahir. I think it treated conflict resolution, some other, one day like that. Was last week, abi? So you can see it comes up under practical learning too. The fifth one is called preparation for academic learning. Preparation for academic learning. Preparation for academic learning. No. Number 5. Preparation for academic learning. Now, one thing, why is practical life preparing children for academic learning? Why do you think practical life helps them in preparing for academic learning? Do you know that before a child, okay, ma'am. Yes, I was asking, but I see that everybody is just silent. That's why I wanted to answer it myself. Okay. I said, okay, let me use the question. Why, say my voice is very good. Why is preparation for academic learning? Why is preparation for academic learning important?
Alright, just as we know that children do not just come to school for reading and writing.
Okay, yeah.
And I will always say some of these things are also like a home training.
Okay.
So when children that have these basic skills that have been grown in them from a younger age, when they get to school, they are able to set in easily and the things work easier for teachers.
Sense.
And they'll be able to grab the concept more faster.
Very, very good. Fantastic. By the end of 3 days, the child should be able to spoon feed himself. Should be able to use by himself. But unfortunately, sometimes, we over pamper our children that they won't be able to. I have a girl of 5 years old that could not feed herself. It's her classmate that used to come and feed her. Her name is Tubosun. It's not as if she cannot feed herself. If you give her to eat the food, allow her to eat the food, she will eat the food from the beginning of the school day and she will be there till the closing of the school day. She will take one spoon and she will be there like this till God knows when. But when they Tubosun bring your food, she will give them. And by the time somebody even younger than I is feeding her, she will be gladly collecting. Now give me another one. Because that is what they are doing for her at home. Do you understand what I'm saying? Although we later arrive at the place that if you did, and the thing is, the girl is not even bothered, even though you say, if you do not eat this thing, you are not going to eat it. She did not mind though. She will pack the food like that. She will pack it, she will keep it aside. She's not even ready to eat the food already. Before. So you are like giving her opportunity that I'm not even ready to eat the food before.
So from home, a school that is not, they are not following too much. So you see parents complain. My child comes back home with food. What's the work of teacher? Why can't they?
You are not supposed to help the child.
I don't say it's not.
It said a school that is not Montessori compliant. Okay, now let me give you a very practical answer to this. Let me give you a very practical answer to this. Do you know that every problem, don't let me use that word problem, every challenge you discover in a child is an opportunity for you to teach. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You notice a child is finding it difficult to eat by himself, or anytime he eats very slowly. And do you know the funniest part? Some of them, by the time they scoop the grains of rice, before the rice reach their mouth, like 70% of the rice is already on the floor. Is even back inside the plate, Abi? Yes. That is the time for you to introduce scooping. Transferring of grain from bowl to bowl, from bowl to jar, like they should be able to scoop to the last grain. That's when you know that's when you discover an intelligent child, a dull child, a high flyers, because by the time they are having 2 grains of rice inside that place, somebody will carry the plate and will turn the remaining 2 grains inside. I've been packing this, it refuse to pack. Somebody can just turn it on the spoon like this to pick it. Somebody uses that to pick it inside the spoon. 1, 2, and this is it. You see different pattern of this thing. That depends on their level of intelligence. And somebody will tell you that, Auntie, the rice is not entering my spoon. You understand? So that is a window for you to introduce those topics, like transferring of, like begin that kind of child. You need to transfer from bowl to bowl, from bowl to bowl. Now there's now what we call pretend activities. the child will do like as if he's putting in his mouth. You know children used to do all this play.
Drop it back.
Like all those play, they will use sand. They are mommy, I've cooked soup for you. This time you just like, mommy, I'm not eating. I want to go to school. You know when I did that, they are playing. You know, so those activities. You know, that's why I say play is very, very key to children's development, because from play they learn a lot of things. And before you know it, the child is going to learn, because one of the problems most of them always have is the grip. And don't forget that it's preparing them for learning too. If a child is having a proper grip of how to hold a spoon, the child will not have any problem holding a pencil. I don't know if you get it. The child will have problem holding a pencil. But if you see a child that is holding a spoon as if you want to hold a shovel, or is holding a spoon like this, you know there's a problem holding a pencil. There will be problem holding a pencil because the child is, you know. So that's what I mean by preparing them for academic learning. And when the child comes to the school first, some activities you need to do with them, particularly when they are 2 years old, 1 year, because parents nowadays they are even ready to bring their child in 3 months. Some parents are like that too. It's not as if they are like that. I know somebody that did that. They gave her just 3 months for in our workplace to do whatever they used to do them. And when that she resumed work like this. She's working at FIRO, Federal into the Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi. Behind that, at the back of Army Barracks, that cantonment in Oshodi. She works there with federal government. They gave her just 3 months. Immediately after the 3 months, she took the child to daycare. That was where the child grew up. The child was every day back to back. By the time she come back by 7 o'clock, the owner of the daycare lives a bit closer to the house. So she's the one that will just back the child and bring the child. So she's like the second mother. So the girl will just suckle breast in the night. In the early morning again, she will suckle breast before they transfer the girl and the mom have gone. That's how the girl lives her life till the mother, you know, before she now got promotion and she started staying at home a bit and this and this. So parents can bring their child they don't mind bringing it 3 months. They will bring it. They'll bring the child, they'll bring her. But one thing you should start teaching such children is not how to read and write. One of the things you should start teaching them is practical life. How to be dependent themselves, how to do things by themselves. Because it's going to relieve you as a parent. When you are cooking in the kitchen and somebody, after you brush and bath for the person already know how to wear socks and boxers. He's not wearing banana shoe. He's not wearing shirt that is going to be wearing shirt. One is go up, one is down. He's not wearing trouser upside down. Like you wear so that, and the place you are supposed to be putting hands, you will not be facing you at the back like this. You understand what I'm saying? So all of those things are very key, and those are the things we are going to be learning under practical life. Then the sixth one, which I felt is the last one here, is sense of responsibility and care. Sense of responsibility and care. I didn't set Mr. Bashir up since. Sense of responsibility and care. Now, under sense of responsibility and care, now, one of the things children learn to do again is how to care for their environment. How to care for their environment. And how to be responsible. Now, in this proper Montessori school, do you know that you are not supposed to sweep the classroom of your children after they finish eating? Do you know you are not supposed to clear the table of your children after they finish eating? So, because you didn't even educate the parents. Because while under practical life, there's what we call, when we start mentioning, I'll start mentioning those activities one after the other. You have everything down before we start doing them. There's what we call setting of the table. They need to know how to prepare the table and clean up the table. Those children that you think they are children, there's child size mob. We used to have it here. I don't know where. Maybe you see if I look around, I think we should still have it there. Child size mob, child size broom and packer. We have child size own. They sell it at the supermarket. Big supermarket sells it. Child size brush that they look like broom like this. Very like before they bend down small like this, they already started using it with their mop, with their small thing. The mob is like get to like this for them, like their age, their size. They use it. Let them feel. Let them use their, disabuse their muscle. Let them do these activities. They will be glad doing it. Although don't expect them to do it the way you are going to do it too. Because that's how you are going to fumble. If you expect them to do it very clean and no, you won't expect that. But with consistency, you are going to achieve it. And that's why we said this gives them the sense of responsibility and belonging. That in other practical life we have washing, where they are going to learn how to wash. I will try and look for a video and share the video on the group here of children when they are doing practical life activities in our school. You will see the joy, like the excitement on their face when they are washing just socks and handkerchief. They will brush. Although you have to ask their parents to give them clothes. That's what we always do. There's a particular they always do the practical life, so they will come with extra clothes in their bag. So when they get to school, they will change to that extra clothes. When they're done with the whole activities, they will spread the clothes for them so to dry a bit. They will wear their normal uniform and go home. But you see that somebody be washing clothes like this. Like, I've not washed clothes for the past 1 year. Today, they are going to do, and they are going to do it with fun, with joy. You see this happiness on their face, and when they get right. And let me tell you something, man. Sometimes it is only when you don't give children activities to do, that's when you see that they are very distant. After a child have already done use material in the morning, in the afternoon you ask them to come and do practical activities, to sponge, to do maybe brush or clean up something or carrying up. By the time you give them, they already have the nap time. That 1 hour, before that 1 hour, somebody the person have already 1 hour, so that by the time the parents people come, yes, by the time the parents come like this, like, why did he even give this way? Because he has worked. Don't forget that while they are doing those things, they believe they are playing, but they are working. Because to children, play is work. So they are working, and by the time they have exhausted the whole energy, there's a lot of material. There's a lot of activities that when you give children and they do it, it is not punishment anyway. They are going to learn from it. But we have sorting. It's other practical life too. So it's not beans. It's sorting. We call it sorting.
Yes, sort it.
We have the one that you can color those beans. You can color them with poster color, dry them. So yellow beans, they are going to sort it in the yellow bowl. Blue beans, they sort it in the blue.
No,
okay, sorting of rice and beans too.
My own children, they pick beans when they are disturbing me. Buy beans.
You do not have the most intelligent one among them. That when they have to pick the beans, they will sieve the rice under like this.
No, I made them pick it in my presence. One. Before they finish, they are falling by the beans. Don't make you go mad.
So all of those things that you felt is punishment, we see it as practical life activities, because one of the things that you mentioned now teaches is patience. Because if you are not patient enough, you cannot pick beans. Beans are rice. If you ask to sort it out, you'll be very. If you are not very very careful, you won't get it right. Because you get a point where rice will be missing with beans, or beans. You want to pour beans, maybe you have already sieved the beans. You want to pour the beans outside the beans bowl. You can put it in the rice bowl. You will not be. You have to start again. So it requires a lot of patience. So, and those are the listen. So now we are going to be looking at okay, we have looked at importance of practical life. Now let's look at setting up a practical life activities. What are the things you need to set up a practical life activity? Before we now start mentioning those practical life activities, please a moment, please. Setting up a practical life activity.
Madam, attendance. Have you written attendance?
Yes, come in.
Attendance.
Put this on now. Don't worry. No. This is what.
No, you don't know.
That particular subject is meant for direct light only.
Okay.
So indicate where the bring light. The other side is for.
I thought it was Mr. Lighton's
Made for him.
Okay, bro. Hey, go over. This is the child's room and father.
Okay.
We are still going to use this very long start.
Like their size.
I'll be very fast when I'm listening to the material so that I can have more time. You want to? Let me come and so, all right. Number one, setting up the practical life activities. Number one, we need child-size materials. Child-size materials. Child-size materials. Child-size materials. This says we should ensure that all the materials and tools are appropriately child size for the children's hand, and ability to making the task manageable and enjoyable. Because if you use adults, for example, now the broom, if the broom is too the push of the broom is too hard or too big rather, it is very hard for a child to grab the broom. If the mob is too taller than the child, it is very hard for the child to use the mob. If any of the material you're using it's for adults, it will be very hard for the child to make use of. So that's why we always prefer you should use child-size material. So anywhere you goes to, anyway, if you go to the supermarket, you are going to see child. Even plates. You know, children have their home plates,
Yes.
and they love fancy plates. So anytime you want to use plates, you should try and consider the one that's going to be small, that at least they can, even though you ask them to carry the tray. Don't go and carry a big tray that will be even bigger than the child. Just a portable and small tray that will be mobile for the child to carry. Okay. Another one is real and functionable tools. Real and functionable tools. I don't know if I have said this in the class before, that Montessori does not encourage getting toys for children. I hope you all know that.
Yes.
Montessori doesn't preach getting toys. So we should get real and functionable tools, not toy. If you want to get plates, don't get toy plates. Get real plates. If you want to get tray, don't get toy tray. Get real tray. So any material you are going to be using, make sure it is real and functional, so that the child can make use of it to learn. Order and accessibility. Order and accessibility. Now, when we talk about order and accessibility, when you look at this Montessori classroom very well, without being told, you will notice that every material in each areas have different goals. The material here, if you notice very well, on top of this place, they are what? Geography. From this place here, they are what? Sensorial. That's music there. Sensorial. Under geography. That one there is numeracy. Coming back here is literacy. Going to that corner there is practical. Everything to that hand there, cross like this, is practical life. Do you understand now? So that's what I mean by orderly and accessibility. Then the child be able to know where he or she wants to go to pick material. Not that you practical life material, you now put it here. You put some there. And when you want to do activities, you ask them, go and bring the so and so. And child start looking for all the materials. No. Let them know that, okay, this material deals with practical life. So I have to go to practical life shelf and get this material. Now, clear instruction and demonstrations. Clear instructions and demonstration. Now, one of the things you must not do while you are presenting material is what? Thank you very much. That is why before you start presenting the material, you must give what? Instruction. And you must have a clear demonstration so that the child will not have reasons to ask you questions or to disrupt you while you are taking your class. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So you should have clear instruction and demonstration to the extent that the child can mimic or repeated what you have just presented without having any problem. So number 5 is encouragement and support. Encouragement and support. Now, one of the things you can do for children when they are presenting is to encourage them and to give support without taking over. You don't know what I'm saying? Encouraging and supporting without taking over from them, like without correcting her. Like you now help the child to, you are supposed to put it here. That means they are taking over. You can do it. At least you saw the way I did it the other time. And I was able to put it in place. I put this according to this thing. You encourage. You give them word and encouragement. Okay. Sometimes, out of fear, and I want to please my teacher, students do it wrong sometimes. I hope you know. Because deep down inside of them, they might know what they are supposed to do. But because they know that you are always the person that always look for faults. I don't know. So I know of a person. Is even a child, not even adults, that every time you are taking the child something, or you are writing on the board, or you are giving this, what the child always factor out is mistake. So I told the child one day, I tell him that if you keep looking at mistake in everything people does, you will never see anything good that people are going to be doing. Even no matter how good the thing is that they have done to you, you will never see it as a good thing. Because what you are going to be looking for is error. So it's fault. So sometimes deliberately look away and give room for improvement. Let the person see the mistake he or she has done, because you might have made a mistake. Why don't forget that study materials have what we call what? Control of error. So on the long run, you might discover that no, I fuck up. Then you start putting it in the order. But if somebody have corrected you while you are doing those things, you won't even know that you have made a mistake. Because you won't feel it's a mistake. You know, sometimes when somebody is trying to correct you, and you know this idea, you are thinking this idea that you are correct, you will not heed to that correction at that moment. Like, you're not supposed to do that. I was supposed to do it. That's what you'll be doing. But let them allow you to do it first. By the time you are not left to one particular, maybe you are arranging up the blocks. What's it called? The picture blocks. And you are left with one big block that you're supposed to have put somewhere that you refuse to put it. This block cannot be up like. So definitely something is missing somewhere. So you put everything down and you rearrange. But if somebody have told you that no, we are fond of that. Even we in this place we are fond of that. If I ask everybody to come and present it, you will see somebody will you're not supposed to do like that. You're not supposed to do like this. They call them the helicopter parents. Don't fall there. No, don't fall there. Don't fall front. Don't fall back. Where do you now want the child to fall? Let the child fall and learn first. In the middle. That one is okay. All right. So those are the when you are saying setting up a practical life activities. So those are the things you should put in place. You need to learn how to encourage. You need to give clear instruction and demonstration. Other than accessibility, we need to bring real and functionable materials. And the last one is we need to bring child size material. Thank you. So that brings us to listing of all the materials we're supposed to be using on every activities. Let's start from preliminary exercise. What is preliminary exercise? Can somebody tell me? Preliminary exercise, care of persons. So under care of persons, let's talk about care of persons. Number one, washing of hands. Do you know that there are techniques of washing of hands? You know this is not how to wash your hands. But it's not everybody that know that this is not how to wash your hands. You wash fingers, you wash, then you rinse. Somebody just asked the child to go on, particularly when they want to go on that lunch break. I used to see them most of the time. They don't know. I was saying like this, sharp, put the hand inside if the water like this, because the small one there, their hands could not reach the washing basin. So we prepare a bowl for them to wash their hand. Some of them put their hand like this in the soap one, put their hand in the other one, and they move it. Somebody might even put the hand in the other one and just leave like that and they will go like that. Like, go back and go and wash that hand. And go and wash it again. But when you are not being deliberate about teaching them how to wash their hands, if not for religion, I won't know how to wash my hands. I won't know how to wash my hands. Although probably Muslim will have teach me how to wash my hands, but my religion taught me how to wash my hands. Dressing frame. So those are the activities. I mentioned activities now. Frame is that the package. FORAME. Under dressing frame, we have button, we have snap, we have zip, that's zipper, we have hook and eye, we have buckle, we have bow, we have lacing, we have safety pin, we have about, I think, 12 or 10. 10 of different dressing pattern. We have the one that is buckle. We have buckle. We have this one that have this belt something too. It's 12. It's 12. The dressing frames. They are 12. That's what I mentioned just now. I think I mentioned 10, but I know they are 12.
You have 10.
5K. I mentioned 10. Yeah, no. Okay, should I mention them again? Okay, I mentioned button. I mentioned snap. I mentioned hook and eye. I mentioned is it from Snapple? I mentioned zipper. I mentioned buckle. I mentioned bow. How to bow, like bow tie. You know there are some clothes that they are not bow tie, but you need to bow them. I mentioned lacing. I mentioned safety pin. I mentioned Velcro. Velcro is that one that you open, they do shh. You don't know that thing.
Like plaster.
Like plaster.
Okay, that one that you can separate.
Velcro now, VELCRO. Velcro. Oh, Velcro. VELCRO.
Then like strap. Yes, I will call it strap.
People call it different name anyway. Some people call it, there's a particular funny name I wanted to remember that I did not remember. That I used to call it. They call it, but the real name is Velcro. Go and check online. And then there's another one again. How many have I mentioned now? 9, 10. Some people have 10, some people have 9. By So another activities is polishing of shoe.
Underdressing.
Yes, polishing of shoe.
Under
Of
the
shoes.
dressing frame.
Yes, polishing of shoes. Polishing of shoes. Have I mentioned press when I was mentioning those dressing room? Do I mention press stud? Press stud. Press stud. Yes. This ones are there too, yes. Brushing and combing of hair. Brushing of teeth. Brushing of teeth. Sitting at a table. Sitting at a table.
Is that another thing? Is that part of the dress up?
Care of self. Don't forget.
So is it part of the dressing frame?
I've done with dressing frame since so.
So where did we
Why will it be addressing frame? Why will you sit at the table on the dressing frame?
The brushing of, sir. So let's separate. The polishing of shoes.
Polishing of shoes is not part of dressing frame now.
Underwear.
Immediately I mentioned polishing of shoes, I'm already care of self. We are talking about care of self. Somebody was even mentioning combing and brushing of hair. Yes, folding of clothes. Yes. Carrying of tray. Carrying of tray. Under care of self. Carrying of tray. Carrying of chairs or chair and table. This is chair. Carrying of chair and carrying of table. That's carrying of chair and table. Chair and table. Chair and table. Carrying a pair of scissors.
Carrying and be using.
Carrying a pair of scissors.
Carrying. I don't know what to do.
That's what you get the pair of scissors too. It's at the back. Where is that scissors at the back? At the last. Now this is the proper way for you to carry the scissors. I hope you know this is the proper way for you to carry a pair of scissors. Okay, you're not seeing it. This is the proper way for you to carry a pair of scissors. Not like this. Like this.
How do you carry knife?
You don't carry knife like this, you carry knife like this.
Face up.
Yes. You don't face knife down. It is reason why you cannot hold mouth of the mouth this thing. Reason why you are having this because mouth is sharp. That's why you are gripping from there. If you hold a knife like this and it fell off, it can get you injured. That's why you are carrying it up. Because you are hiding it at the back within the hand like this. So we have I mentioned pegging? Pegging, yeah, pegging. 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 P-E peg. Pegging. Have I mentioned carrying of mats? Okay. Have I mentioned the one we used to do in this place? Rolling and unrolling of mats. Then now, there is a pattern of rolling and there's a pattern of rolling. So rolling and unrolling of mats.
What about the carrying?
Carrying of mats is still different as well. When we are going to do the activities here, that's why I said everybody are going to do the activity one after the other. We just pick it randomly and by the time we have sitting and standing from a chair. Have I mentioned sitting on a chair before? Okay, at a table. Now sitting and standing on a chair. And standing from a chair rather. Standing from a chair, not on a chair. I mentioned carrying a tray now.
Yes.
I mentioned carrying a jug.
No.
Carrying a jug. Carrying a table. I mentioned carrying a table. I remember I mentioned that one. Have I mentioned okay? I've mentioned carrying knife. I just mentioned something about carrying scissors now. So that's they call them all those ones. They are under carrying of sharp objects from the listener. Opening and closing a door. Do you know there's a pattern for opening and closing a door? When you want to open a door, gently you use the handle. You open gentle. Before you release the handle of the door, you are supposed to collect the handle from the other side, then to close the door gently. Not that you open like this. You pass it from straight to the right until you bam. You know, one of the way for you to know if some people have arrived is when they enter the class. They just yeah. You know, that is Mrs. Momo.
Yeah.
You know that is Mrs. Momo. But when you, meanwhile, this guy is supposed to open.
You learn it.
You release what you have opened, you release it back inside the incident. That even if the person is not careful, the person won't even know you are running it. That is the proper way to open and close it. We have opening and closing of a bottle. When you want to teach that, you can use medicine bottle. But I want that you should use medicine bottle. I want medicine bottle. You can use mineral bottle rather. Because you know there is a direction, bottle water ahead. You know there is a direction of opening. There is a direction of closing for almost everything. Yeah. All of those bottles and all of that. When you want to open, you open anti-clockwise. Then you close clockwise. I hope you get what I'm saying. So you need to teach them. That is why sometimes when you give children to open, most of them they always bring their full flask to come out for you to open. It's not because they cannot open, but because they don't even know the direction where the open goes to. Instead of them to open, they are struggling closing it. So you need to teach them opening and closing. Excuse me. Then removing and opening of a book. Book. Do you know that opening book is very, very important? When you ask the open book, I probably know it's like out of 100 leaves, by the end of the time, the book have remained maybe 40 leaves. They have why? Because before the end of the time, they have while flipping the book over, they have already moved about 40 leaves away. So that one I've mentioned. Okay, turning pages I've mentioned that one too. Opening bottle I've mentioned that one. Opening boxes, yes, opening boxes too is the part of it. Now spooning, pouring of grains, and that one pouring of grains, transferring of liquid. All those ones they are very extended. Grains from bowl to bowl, bowl to jar, bowl to liquid from bowl to bowl, big to big. You know, those ones they are still under family. They are still family. Then what do I have here? I have tweezing. Yes, tweezing. I have tweezing. TWEEZING. Z-I-N-G, tweezing. This is tweezer. Example of tweezer. This is tweezer. Let me explain what tweezer look like. Tweezer look like this. It look like this is in delivering child. They always used to carry baby eggs out. That look like this. They always used to pick pop pop.
Looks like picker.
You know, it's of two types. One is very small. They have two tiny mouths like that. They have tiny mouth. One have a very tiny mouth. Then one is have a very big mouth like this. They are open. Then you clip it as if you want to. That's what I'm looking for since. Thank you. You know you are with it. You never with it.
You need to do it now.
Now.
Sell. With people that used to sell.
Pop-ups. Now. So there's another one. There's good one tonguing. Tonguing. That one you can use that to pick all this pom pom. You know pom pom now. Not pop pom pom.
Yes.
We have that one too here now. What is this baby? Pom pom is all these small seeds there.
Okay.
You have the two here. So this is pom pom. This is what the pom pom. You can ask the child to sort according to color. This thing that you are seeing, as simple as this thing is, it's a skill. So look at the finger I'm using to hold it. Which finger am I using?
Three.
The tripod finger. So don't forget that practical life material is preparing them against reading and writing. So tripod finger, when they have done all of this exercise so much that when they want to grab pencil or grab this thing, they won't have problem with this. And one of the reasons why most people have bad diagnosis is because they don't have proper grip. I want to use them now. I want to list all of the material for us and without picking. That was what I did for the practical the sensorial, right? So that we can know what we have done and what we have left. If I just start taking you and I didn't even give you the list of what we are supposed to do, you won't even know. So we have did I mention lock and key? Lock and key is very important. We have that lock and key at the back desk too. We have that too at the back.
Lock and key there.
Very, very important. You need to teach children how to lock and unlock a padlock. So that whenever you are at home and they decide to go and lock you, you know, sometimes they will behave like Organa. They will lock the door when you have left. Now open the door and will have come from there. You don't know that they can do it. They will just twist the key. The thing will just lock, bam.
Yes.
And Oga, I've arrived, please help me to open the door. They will refuse to open. They don't know how to open it again. You might not, if you are not careful, you might not sleeping outside. That's small thing I just mentioned now. So lock and how to lock and unlock keys. Then we have I mentioned dropper exercise. Dropper. This is what we use as dropper. This is what we use as dropper. We use it to, you'll be picking water with this thing. This thing requires a lot of suru. You know what I call suru in English? Thank you very much. Patient that don't have teeth, that have C. So you use it to suck water, release the water inside another bowl. Till you are able to release the whole water from this bowl to this bowl. Suck her. So it's another activity too. Look at what I'm using.
Let's see the head. Let's see the head. Soccer.
This is like inside vitamin C syrup.
Yes, even those spammy.
Now. Dropper. Now. I'm using my tripod finger. That's what I'm trying to show you that I cannot use all of this hand. It's not possible for me to use all of this hand. It do not press. So I'm using the tripod. So all of these activities I'm doing. The one I mentioned the other time, pegging. When I go to be learning pegging, when you see a child that's finding it difficult to hold pencil, that don't have a proper pencil grip, these are activities you can do with them that's going to help them and assist them in writing, in holding their pencil very well. And that is why it is very, very important that you introduce practical life first before writing or anything you want to teach them. Which other thing do I have here? Have I mentioned working on the straight line? No, don't write it. Don't write that one. That one is under gross motor. Sponging. Have I mentioned sponging?
No.
Okay, sponging. Yes. Sponging. Have I mentioned beading? Beading is part of it. Then the last, have I mentioned whisking? Very, very important. But you know there's whisker. Not the one that you use your spoon to be doing egg whisk egg like the whiskey that have this thing. So you can get a whisker. One good thing I love about practical life is that practical life does not require that you should go and buy materials also. You can go to supermarket with the list of these things I have mentioned, materials I have mentioned so far, all these things I mentioned. Maybe you have 100,000, 50,000 or something, and start getting those materials. You can go to supermarket and get this thing, your basket full, and you go home with the materials you need. With all of these things I mentioned. So, food preparation and setting of the table. Have I mentioned that? Setting your table.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. And I think that's the last thing I have on my list here. For here. Then we have care of the environment. Care of the environment. One of it's cleaning the chalkboard. We are not even using chalkboard again. We are using marker board. Cleaning the marker board. Let me say cleaning the marker board. Because don't forget, when we are talking about cleaning of the environment, they have to take care of their classroom. We mentioned that they will take care of their what? Their classroom also. So washing, cleaning of the chalkboard or the marker board, yes. Dusting the table and washing the table. Dusting and washing the table. You can ask them to bring their round table. If they are sitting on a round table, mostly in nursery, it's always best they sit on the round table anyway. Let them bring it out. Give them, put liquid soap inside this thing, dilute it small so that the thing will not be too soapy. Let them start using their whatever to wash it with their house clothes, to wash, pour water for them. Let them dry it for like maybe 30 minutes or outside the sun and let them return it back inside. It's part of activities. It helps their gross motor. Fine motor rather. Then we have which other thing do I have here? We have polishing of brass. 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 We don't have it here. We have one is in Mrs. Obada's office. Down. Brass. Polishing of brass. That thing that always is golden something that is that. That's what I call brass. So when they clean it, it's not that you use polish to polish it. That's what they mean. They can use this foam to clean it, or they use one nice napkin to clean it. That's what they like. Polishing of brass. Arranging of flowers. Washing of clothes. The other one we mentioned about is folding of what? Now we are talking about what? Washing of clothes. Wet mopping. And dust mopping. Wet mopping and dust mopping. Then indoor and outdoor sweeping. That moves us to the third one, which is grace and courtesy. The third one, which is what? Grace and courtesy. Number one, under grace and courtesy, introduction. Introduction of self. How do we introduce ourselves? Comment tu t'appelles? Bonjour, Bao. Je m'appelle. So that's what I mean. I mean, introduction. It's part of grace and courtesy. When you want to introduce yourself, what is your name? Tell me. You know that's not the proper way to answer to introduce yourself. My name is Temi Olowo Jeje. You know.
So which one is correct? Are they supposed to introduce them by first name
Or last
or
name.
by both first name and surname?
Now it depends on the occasion you are at the moment. If your friend, like somebody that want to meet you, of your friend, ask you, you might introduce yourself and your other name. If your colleague want to, probably a new person that is in your class wants to meet you, you might introduce yourself as your name and your surname. If your mommy's friend wants to meet you, you don't need to mention your surname. I hope you are trying to balance what I'm trying to say now.
Yes, sir.
Now, for example, you take your child to church. Hey, beauty baby, how are you? What's your name? My name is Temi. Oh, Temi. Because you don't have any business knowing your surname now. But if it's your classmates, they need to know your surname. If it's your colleague, maybe your schoolmate, maybe another, they need to know your surname. Because sometimes people call you by your surname. I hope you know.
Yes.
Actually, after I left my secondary school, they were calling me by my surname. Oladi Plenty. Some people call me Oladi. Igbo people call me Oladi Plenty. So they just find it. Some people just find it pleasing that they should call you by your surname. So that's why. But it's the only way they know your surname that they can call you by your surname. Even do you know the first part? Even teachers like calling students by their surname. Yes. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes.
They'll say Shokumbi. Okay, let's just you're welcome. I'm fine. So you just call the person by they prefer calling people by their surnames. The teachers do that a lot. And by so doing, the students in the class too, we adapt by the name. You know, there was a time that there was a girl called Marcos. I used to call the girl Marcos. And now I discovered that they used to call the junior sister too Marcos. I was like, I now call the top that who is Marcos? I want to talk to you. It's when they say we are Marcos. But you know, because they are children, they do not tell them that we are not Marcos, our daddy that is Marcos. I am Deborah and my sister name is Esele. So they didn't tell me. I was like, why will you tell me Marcos? Don't worry, just be going. And I called it. What is that name? Say Marcos. Like her name go. Say Deborah Marcos. What is the difference? I say that one is Esele Marcos. They're not talking. So you are Deborah, you are Esele, not Marcos again. You know, because it's so confusing. Sometimes if they are in the same class or this thing, you get confusing.
Sometimes we have children there in the same day in the class. Like let's say this one is divine, this one is divine. In my own class, in order to differentiate, I call them by their surname so that they know which one.
This you have just mentioned now. This is Deborah Marcos too. The teacher now told me the reason why she called her Marcos. She called her particularly Marcos. It's because there's another Deborah in that same class. So they don't want to be calling her Deborah again. So they decided to be calling one Deborah Adilakun. They will call it full. As if her name is Deborah Adilakun. Her name is Deborah. They will still put the surname together. Deborah Adilakun. They now call the other one Marcos.
Now differentiate the two.
They won't calling that one Deborah. They will call that one Marcos. They will call the other one Deborah Adilakun. So, introduction. Now we have what they call the second one is greeting. Greeting a person. Have you ever met a child when they are coming closing from school before and they greeted you before? How would they greet you? Good morning, ma'am. Even if it is a sunny, very sunny afternoon, they still tell you good morning. They will, anytime they meet you, they believe it is the morning. That is why when children get to a certain stage in early years, you need to treat weather. You need to be very, very persistent with that. Treating of weather that when, in short, you do it as a practical. That you ask someone to wear pajamas or come with their pajamas, they wear it. That when you wear your pajamas and you sleep and wakes up, it is what in the morning. When the sun is very shining, that these activities are going on, and it is in the what? Afternoon. But when everything is dark, you just cover the whole window, cover everywhere. And everywhere is dark like this. That you need lights to do it. Is in the evening. So you need to let them know in the night. So you need to let them know the difference. Because otherwise, when they visit in the night, Mommy, good morning. Even in the night, no matter how. Okay.
So at times in the morning.
Sun comes out.
out.
So how will you tell a child? Like my son, my
Okay.
last baby, his own is every time. So now he will ask me, Mommy, the sun is out now. What should I greet? And I'll tell him, okay, it's still in the morning. And he will tell you, that one will question you to the last.
Like she means told me that when sun comes out.
So why is sun out now?
Now this is how we explain that. That brought us to a simple introduction of PM and AM. That's till 12. And how do you know it is 12? Have they? Are you in this Nigeria? That should come today. It is a when you make mistake to say something, you say slip of tongue. When you not make mistake to type something, what will you say? Slip of what? Slip. So it's a slip of hand. But Mrs. Anna have come and she has gone anyway. But we can hold on for her when she is. I think she's not around safe. I'm surprised now. She went to pharmacies to go and get her drugs. Nobody came home except you and that Miss Anna, and she said she read the message. She said she sent another message. Maybe you didn't see that. So we can continue, Shebi. Hey, give me some idea. Discuss. So I can tell you when this. Anybody want to hear from me?
You're talking about AM and PM.
PM. Yes. Now we are talking about AM and PM.
It's 4 years, but so curious. Everything you want to know.
That's the age of curiosity now. That's the curiosity age.
Last night around 8. Grandma, good morning.
Because they always believe, do you know why? The reason is because it has become our culture in Africa, particularly Nigeria to be precise, that every time you wake up in the morning, you greet your parents. People around, you greet everybody, good morning, and it's always in the morning. So they are so much get attached to that morning that they believe anytime I need to greet you, it must be in the morning. Even though no matter how sunny the thing is, it must be in the morning. So then it brings you to introduction of AM and PM. Now when you want to introduce them to this thing, you let them know that for them to know that we are in the PM, there are some activities that are being done. Because for that moment they might not even know what time is. They can't check the time. When you go to school and comes back, it must have been in the afternoon. That's you now the difference. AM, that was in the morning before you go to school. But when you are in the school, by the time you are done with your whole activity and everything, when you go to work and come back, we are already in the afternoon. The sun will still be at action by that time to shine, but it will be in the afternoon. But by the time you see that everywhere is now going dark, it becomes what? Evening. When you are at home on Friday, on Saturday and Sunday, that we do not go to, on Sunday, but we not okay. On Saturday, let me use Saturday as an example. Saturday, we do not go to anywhere. By the time you experience that the sun, because in the sun of morning is always different from the afternoon. I hope you know. This morning on is not something that you can just enter anyhow like that. It's always very hot compared to the one of the afternoon. And by that time, you can always differentiate to them that it is people that live in the north that experience more sun. When this is how they used to do it. Because if you stay in a particular position in the morning, by the time you go to the particular position in the afternoon, where your shadow is falling will be different from what is falls in the morning. I hope you know that. If your shadow is falling on this right hand here, by the time you go back, the shadow might be falling behind you. So I think those are other practical means. But whether
teach me how to do that shadow.
the shadow won't be. I will.
So we need to learn that shadow.
Okay, that shadow one. You need to learn that. Muslim knows how to do that. Anyway, the Muslims, because if you are in a particular place and you need to pray and you don't know what the time is or where the Qibla is supposed to be, that's where you are supposed to face while praying. You need to look at the sunrise and the sunset. That's the places you are going to know that these are the direction of the sunset. The sunrise is supposed to be on the you have to carry the sunrise on the right hand shoulder and tilt a bit before you can pray. So it's always the direction of this go to DSTV something. That's DSTV direction. It's always a direction of the Qibla. So those are the ways you can You can. So we have another way of grace and courtesy. Another thing under grace and courtesy is thank you. Learn how to say thank you. Excuse me.
So use of magic words.
Yes. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. And then which other one again? Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, and pardon me, and all those things. Then the fourth one, or fifth one is there is introduction of oneself. But I greeting is the second one, okay? Okay, another one is yawning. Somebody will open it as if you put this thing inside it will enter. But do you know that thing spread like a virus? You only spread like a virus.
Yes. So once you try, don't close your mouth, and that person will.
Before you know it, the next person behind you pick over it, and the thing transfer to the next person at the back, and YAWNING. From where? From the front or from the back? Online.
We're having a class
9 p.m.
The child was already here.
Imagine from that distance. Imagine.
I'm telling you.
So it's very transferable. You know, I think it deals with our brain. It's sensory. It deals with our brain. That once the brain discovers that somebody is yawning, unless you don't know, the person you show that you are yawning like this.
But that not you can smile.
I don't know. But a child cannot control it. But when you want to yawn, you know you're supposed to cover your mouth. That's the courtesy. What courtesy demands of you? Excuse me. Coughing too. You cough. Sneezing. Belching. All those things are under grace and courtesy that are mentioning since you. Coughing, yawning, sneezing. Then we have interrupting. When you're having a conversation with somebody, some children don't know how to break a conversation. They just go, mommy. They don't even mind what decision of things at that moment when you're talking to the person. They will just come in and break it. Nothing like just going to a place that is going to be noticeable and like, madam, please give me a minute. Let me attend to my son. What anything? Mommy, this. You understand that kind of thing? They should know how to break it so that.
They can even say, please excuse me.
There are some situations of things, and some situations sometimes you don't need to even say. That's why I said from the beginning. I said just raise your magic finger. Or better still, if it's your mom or somebody that you know you want to catch the person's attention, try and stay at the position where the person can see you. And just raise the thing. That you won't even catch, you don't get anybody's attention to even look at. Because when you say excuse me, do you know one thing about people? Everybody is going to see who says excuse me. And automatically you have diverted everybody's attention to what you are going to say. So it is if what you are going to say requires that everybody listen to it, then the person at the front is going to tell you that, please let's hear from Mrs. or let's hear from so person. So everybody is going to come down to hear from you. Now, expressing admiration. It's good to admire people anyway. Expressing admiration. You look so beautiful today. You know some children can tell you today, Mrs. Alita. No, Mrs. Alita is not here. Okay. Mrs. No, it's you that I want to call. Mrs. $0. This is your gele. Is it auto gele? Yes. It's very fine today. Some students are so much that they won't be able to hold that expression. They will have to express it out. But you, as an adult, you need to know how to respond to courtesy, to admiration.
Okay. Expressing admiration. You should know how to respond.
Yes. Do you know that responding to admiration is very, very important too? Hello. Expressing admiration is good, but learning how to respond to admiration is better.
Yes.
Because if you do not respond to the admiration very well, you can shut the person up, and the person may not. That might be the end of it. No matter what you wear in this world, the person somebody just get, you're looking so beautiful today, ma. You're like, thank you. So the red looks good on me. Yes, I would even prefer you be wearing red more often. You know, you feel yourself like, red. You might even have a very bad mood for the day before coming to school. Somebody just come in and admire that. You look so good today. I love your lip gloss. And the first part might be you have been using that lip gloss for the past 1 month. The best you don't notice it. It might be just it happens like that. Even sometimes your spouse that you are living at home, you go and fix your nails and you believe like this when you get home. Baby, okay, I'm not see it. It will not be the third day that the nail has started eating small. That's this nail is very fine. You just eat. Yeah. But this is how many days. You know, it happens like that too. So we need to learn how to respond to admiration. Very, very important. So that's another grace and courtesy. Do I have anyone here that I'm waiting for? Okay, then we have the last one, which is control of movement. The last one is control. That one is just two. Number one is walking on a straight line, and number two is silent game of movement. Number one is walking on a straight line. The number two is what? The silent game. Walking on a straight line and the silent game.
So which one is the silent game?
The silent game is the game you play without
talking.
So that's control of movement. When you silent game, the control of movement is it might deals with all this thing that they used to they used to put something under your bomb that you run after the person. What's the name of that game? That the person will be rolling, turning around. You just keep something under your no. They will keep something under your bomb. You start chasing the person again before the person filling the gap again and all that. Those things they are under control of movement. So there are other games that are under control of movement. Yes, we are going to do that one today too. Yeah.
Is it time for the party time?
So we are going to go on about 15 minutes break. This is the one. This is just the one now. So people on YouTube, you can go on your home break. They don't want to go on break here. You have to compensate you sitting here for the past 1 hour.
And we need the last thing that means most of other